All right, the court will call the case of the Ranches of Rosebrook versus a Nice Battle, case number 25C 1245.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
Ms. Battle, please hit *6, unmute your device and state.
Hello? Hello?
Please state.
It's a niece battle on a special appearance for the record to contest the jurisdiction and the facts before this court.
Yep. All right. Well, Ms. Battle, I'll tell you that this matter is appropriately in the correct court. The court does have jurisdiction. We'll be
And
proceeding.
that's based on what? What is on the record that is based on that the court has jurisdiction?
The fact that this is a case that is within the jurisdiction of the Township of Ypsilanti, and if you have issues related to any contracts, that would be within this jurisdiction as well. So all of that is within the jurisdiction of this court.
So you're saying that the contract is in jurisdiction of the court?
That is what I just said, ma'am.
All right, and the contract has been rescinded. So how is the contract in the jurisdiction of the court if it's invalid?
Who gets to rescind a contract on their own? That's
What are you talking about? I have the right to rescind a contract by right of common law.
Ms. Battle,
That doesn't involve court.
ma'am, you need to stop talking or you're going to get held in contempt of court. Mr. Fantier, have you had a chance to talk to Ms. Battle? I talked to Ms.
You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Mr. Fantera, do you need to speak with her or are we ready to proceed?
If you want me to speak to her, I'll speak to her. She talks about rescinding the contract. Does that mean she's moving out?
Before this hearing even begins, we're already stepping into the kind of legal chaos that only sovereign citizen logic can produce. Today's courtroom clash is part landlord dispute, part philosophical meltdown, and part masterclass in I Googled law for 3 minutes, and now I know more than every judge ever. The plaintiff, represented by attorney David Fant, is trying to get a straightforward ruling on an eviction-type matter, but the defendant, Miss Battle, is not just fighting the case. She's fighting the very concept of legal reality. She doesn't recognize the court's jurisdiction, the contract, or even the idea of being a legal person. And trust me, that's only the beginning. In this video, you're going to see how quickly a simple civil hearing spirals into confusion, interruptions, and a full breakdown of courtroom procedure. We'll watch a judge struggle to maintain order, an attorney try to translate nonsense into legal terms, and a defendant whose strategy relies heavily on loopholes that don't actually exist. And later, we switch to an entirely different case that somehow escalates even further. Stick around, because if you think this first sovereign citizen moment is wild, the next one takes it to a whole new level. Let's get into it.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Are you moving out?
Are you moving out?
No. Why would I have to move out?
Because if you rescind a contract, okay, fine. Your Honor, I think we just set this for trial.
Okay. One moment.
This case has also been in it's in the circuit court. A petition filed for an injunction. I did serve you all. It is set on the 30th.
Yes, ma'am, I heard.
We're aware.
Okay. And once again, I do not submit to the jurisdiction of the court. The contract is rescinded.
So how can the
And I am
contract?
not a legal person.
You're not a legal person.
How can a contract? No, I'm not a legal person. I'm not a legal entity. No, I am not. And you have to prove that on the record.
Stop talking.
Actually, I don't.
I'm sorry.
Can I ask Ms. Battle a question, Your Honor, real quick?
Sure.
So, Ms. Battle, so you can live there forever without paying rent because you're not a legal person?
That's not what I'm saying, but the contract itself is invalid. I'm saying that you don't have any personal or subject matter jurisdiction over me. Over an invalid contract, no. And over me not having a legal capacity to be sued, yes. So if that's how you want to take it, then that's how you have to take it. But that's what's lawful and that's what's
Let
written in the law.
me just tell you, I think you're wrong on both counts. I would expect that we would.
It's okay for you to think that I'm wrong, but the facts still align with what I'm saying.
Okay, Your Honor, I think we should have a trial.
You have to prove without the reasonable doubt. So let the record show that the judge has not required the plaintiff to prove without a reasonable doubt that I am a legal person, and it's on the record, not assumed, not presumed, on the record. There's nothing that's on the record that states.
Ms. Battle, first of all, reasonable doubt is a standard in a criminal case, not a civil case. So I do not have to prove anything beyond a reasonable doubt.
Sarah, I need both of you to stop talking, please. Both of you, I'm sorry. I cannot figure out the date because I can't hear over the two of you.
I apologize. I didn't know that's what you were doing, Your Honor.
This matter will be scheduled for May 6th at 3 p.m. for a trial on any and all issues that may be before the court. Ms. Battle, if you have anything else that you need to say, you can unmute yourself by hitting *6 to do that.
Okay, I just find it ironic that I got muted when I was speaking on jurisdiction and how there was a lack thereof on the record. So I want that to be on the record. But I also wanted to, okay, that's fine. And I also wanted to be on the record that I am not going to be able to show up on May the 6th. So it's also ironic that you are able to verify with him that he's able to show up and not with myself.
I just asked you that, and you are now talking about something else. Why can't you do this?
That's because you cut me off and put me inside of a break room and muted my mic instead of allowing me to speak on what needs to be spoken on.
All right, this is set for May 6th at 3.
Your Honor, by Zoom? By Zoom?
Correct.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
It's ridiculous. This is a fraud upon the court. Goodbye.
This right here is classic sovereign citizen maneuvering, agreeing to consent to jurisdiction, but only on her own terms, and only through a carefully crafted phrase she believes has legal power. It doesn't, at all. But to people who follow this ideology, phrasing is everything. They think certain words unlock hidden legal rules, like they're speaking some kind of ancient spell that forces the court to obey. The judge, however, has heard this dozens of times, and she's not buying it. Notice how Miss Battle frames her participation as a special appearance. That's another sovereign citizen script point. They believe it keeps them from being legally bound to the case, even though it absolutely does not. And right away, you can feel the tension rise as the judge makes it clear. This case is in the correct court, and this court does have jurisdiction. But Miss Battle? She's prepared to challenge reality every step of the way.
This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Shane Leroy Reamer, file number 23-216665FH. This is a date and time set for a final pretrial conference. Today was the motion deadline for both motions and motion in limines to be heard. Jury instructions were to be provided to the court by April 2nd, along with any proposed voir dire questions. We are set for trial on April 22nd of 2025. Mr. Reamer, you are charged with police officer resisting and obstructing causing injury, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 4 years in prison. Police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing, that carries up to 2 years in prison. There's 2 of those. And then there's a disorderly. And what is the plea offer in this file?
Your Honor, the people have offered to a plea of 2 counts to attempted R&O.
All right.
So 2 misdemeanors, and we would kill a brute to no upfront jail.
All right. Mr. Reamer, the plea offer in this case was to plead to 2 one-year misdemeanors with no upfront jail, and there'd be like 12 months or so of probation and some minimal fines and costs. Do you understand that? All right. Now, Mr. Reamer, you know, I'm assuming you graduated from high school, right?
8th grade.
You went through 8th grade, and this is a felony that could result in you going to prison. Why don't you stand in front of that podium for me? So do you understand an attorney can help guide you through the legal process?
Yes, I tried to have, I almost had a public defender. Unfortunately, she wasn't representing me appropriately. I'd asked for another one, but.
So I have no authority over who gets appointed. You're appointing an
I
attorney.
understand that, but when they're not representing you appropriately.
Okay, I didn't ask that. I'm just saying you have a right to an attorney. I know the attorney you're referring to. She's diligent. She works hard. Maybe you didn't like, I know when I was a public defender, sometimes my clients didn't like what listen to me, I'm talking. My clients didn't like the things that I told them. But, you know, her job isn't to do what you want. Her job is to represent the law. So you understand at this point, you can hire an attorney, or you can go with the public defender and whoever they assign you, or you can go to trial pro per with no law degree, no experience, and
Yes,
risk
I will
going to
represent
prison.
myself.
You're going to represent yourself.
I'm gonna represent I ain't got no choice but to.
Have you?
When Miss Battle insists she has the right to rescind a contract on her own, she's tapping into another common sovereign citizen belief, that contract law supersedes all other law, and that if they declare something void, the world must honor it. But here's the catch. Contract rescission has rules, procedures, notices, and legal standards. You can't just say, "I rescind it," like you're returning a toaster without a receipt. This is also the moment where you can sense the judge's patience wearing thin. Not because she disagrees with Miss Battle. She hasn't even gotten to the merits yet, but because Miss Battle keeps arguing philosophy instead of law. When she starts citing the common law right to rescind, she's reciting something she found online without understanding the legal process behind it, and the judge is seconds away from having to reassert control of this courtroom.
Provided your jury question, the voir dire questions, because if you haven't, they're waived.
If there's
No, they were due.
if there's evidence provided against me, I have a right to defend myself using that very same.
That wasn't the question I asked you.
That's
You do have
exactly-
a right to defend yourself, Mr. Raymer. I'm just.
My right for violence.
I'm talking, you're not. If you don't stop talking and listen to me so I can go through my speech, I will send you over to the jail. Do you understand? All right. You have not filed any motions. Jury instructions were due and voir dire questions were due. You have not provided those. We gave you a copy of this. So do you understand what I've received is what will be used? Yes or no?
I will be allowed to ask my questions.
What question?
When I'm cross-examining, I will get my.
I'm talking about juror question. I'm talking about jury instructions and voir dire questions. You understand now? You
I don't
didn't file, listen, I know, but you waived that because you have not provided them. Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
No, I don't. I don't
Okay.
understand that. I didn't understand that.
Okay, well, I
That's why
can't
I'm-
advise you of the law because I'm not an attorney, I'm a judge.
No, but you
So-
were looking at the case and you've been presiding over my case for 3 years now.
I know, it's fine. You're
the one-
gonna go to
You're the one
trial.
that signed the warrant for my arrest while I was in jail.
I don't know that, I don't
Yes,
remember.
you did do that.
Okay, I'm allowed to do that.
No, you violated my rights. of
Okay,
life.
well, you have options. You can file a complaint with the JTC if you'd like. So are you prepared to go to trial?
Absolutely.
Have you provided your witness list?
I haven't yet, but I will.
Okay, that was due.
My witness list was provided when, Ms. Underwood was my attorney,
Okay,
and my witness list is.
have you subpoenaed any witnesses that were not on the prosecutor's raised just eyewitness list?
Yes, my witnesses are the ones that was there at the scene.
No,
And
do
yes,
you understand that you have to provide a witness list and you have to provide a copy to the prosecutor? Do you understand that?
prosecutor, I gotta provide what to him?
So if you're gonna have witnesses at trial, you need to make sure the prosecutor has their name and contact information so that they could interview them prior to trial if they wanted. Do you understand
Well,
that?
they got all that information.
They do?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
my witnesses are my parents and my.
they're not on the people's witness.
Curtis,
I'm not
Denny,
sure.
Okay,
and Rose.
if you haven't provided a witness list and they're not on the people's list, you understand you won't be able to call them.
Okay, I will provide the information. I
Okay.
can provide that information. Yeah.
I'm just telling you. So you need to make sure that there's a witness list in the file that was provided to the people.
So I gotta re-provide it.
I don't know. Go back and look at what
I'll
witness
just-
list
I'll
has
just
been
do that
filed,
next week.
their name, their contact information. And then any subpoenas you have to do, if you have to subpoena anybody to be present, you need to get those filed this week. And then the court signs them and then you serve those people with those.
Okay.
Do you understand? Now, do you understand when we go to trial, a lot of times some of the questions you ask or he asks may be objected to, and it's not personal, it's just, we have to follow the law.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm allowed to object to though, right?
Huh?
I'm allowed to object too.
You are, and then you have to provide the basis for that objection. Okay, so you need to understand your objections. So you might want to do some research to understand.
I've been doing.
Good, good. You sure you don't want a public defender for trial? You sure you don't want an attorney for trial?
I'm not gonna take any of the attorneys from here because they're all corrupt.
This right here is where Attorney Fant lays out, in the most diplomatic way possible, that he's dealing with a sovereign citizen argument. Notice how carefully he phrases it. Claiming to represent a made-up identity, arguing that the real person unknowingly gave up their rights. This is textbook, strawman, ideology, a central belief in sovereign citizen circles. They argue there are two versions of themselves, the flesh and blood person and the legal person, created by the government. Their strategy usually boils down to, you can't sue me because I'm not the legal version of me. Courts have repeatedly ruled this is nonsense. But to believers, it feels like a secret shortcut around responsibility. And as we see here, Fant is preparing the judge for an argument that's about to get even more unhinged, especially when she denies being a legal person at all.
What is your name?
I am Brian. My family name is Wilkinson.
All right. We'll go on the record in State of Kansas versus Brian J. Wilkinson. Case number 25 CR 67. The state appears by County Attorney Darren DeVinny. Mr. Wilkinson appears in person by Zoom. We're here for a first appearance. Mr. Wilkinson, you're appearing by a summons. I'm going to go over your charges with you. There are 3 counts, all alleged to have occurred on June 4th, 2024 in Butler County, Kansas. Count 1 alleges you were in unlawful possession of methamphetamine. That is a level 5 drug felony. Count 2 alleges you are in unlawful possession of paraphernalia for use. That is a Class B non-person misdemeanor. Count 3 is an allegation of possession of marijuana, also a Class B non-person misdemeanor. Do you understand what you've been charged with, Mr. Wilkinson?
I do not understand, Your Honor.
Yeah, what don't you understand?
I had thought that this matter was already settled on the case that Mr. Watts was representing me for.
Okay, I'm not aware of that particular matter. That may have been a different case. I'm not sure.
Well, there wasn't a different case. I mean, I wasn't attacked and assaulted and kidnapped 2 different times, just one time.
Mr. DeVinny, do you know anything about another case involving Mr. Wilkinson?
Let's see. Well, I know there's criminal history. I know he's a B on the grid. He has out of at least Butler County cases, we've got a driving while suspended, an old a 23 traffic case that's closed. And then he has this open case now for possession of methamphetamine.
Do you know of, is there one where Mr. Watts representing that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of. Well, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I don't know, Mr. Wilkinson. That can be sorted out. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
I'm sui juris.
Excuse me?
I'm sui juris, and I would appreciate it, Your Honor, if you would recite your oath of office, your delegation of authority order, and your bond information.
I'm not going to do that, Mr. Wilkinson. Can you afford to hire an attorney?
I am not a ward of the court. I'm not an idiot. I know how to speak for myself.
Okay. Do you wish to represent yourself?
Well, I am myself. I can't represent myself, but yes,
I will
be talking for myself.
All right. You understand you have a right to have an attorney represent you on this case?
Yeah, but that makes me a ward of the court. If I am seen as too stupid to talk for myself,
Do you
If I
understand
have-
that if you can't afford an attorney to represent you, one would be appointed for you?
I also understand that all attorneys' first duty is for the court and not for their client.
At this point, the judge has tried reasoning, clarifying, explaining the law, and even calming the situation, but Miss Battle is fully committed to the sovereign citizen script. When she demands the plaintiff prove, beyond a reasonable doubt, that she is a legal person, that's another fundamental misunderstanding, that the standards of criminal law apply to civil disputes. They don't. The judge tries to correct her gently, but notice how quickly the argument spirals again. Miss Battle keeps talking over the court, reframing every procedural question into a debate over jurisdiction. This is why sovereign citizen hearings often take twice as long. Every routine legal step gets derailed by philosophical objections. And by the time the judge sets the trial date, you can practically hear the exhaustion in the room. 222222222222222. And just.
Do you
I wouldn't
understand
want-
you have that right, Mr. Wilkinson?
I do understand my rights, yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
I'm going to go ahead and appoint James Watts to represent you if you think that he's represented you on something that may be in line with this case. So he'll be with you when you appear back in front of me, and that'll be on my preliminary hearing control docket. Do you have something to write with, Mr.
Yes,
Wilkinson?
sir.
All right, your
Yes,
court date will be in front of me by Zoom on May the 19th at 2:30.
May 19th, 2:30 p.m.
That's correct. Do you have Mr.
Okay.
Watts's contact information?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, you might contact his office and let them know that court date. We need to set a bond. Mr. Devaney, what's your recommendation for bond?
The defendant does appear here voluntarily by summons here today, so I'd request a $10,000 OR bond for the defendant.
What was the amount?
$10,000.
All right, I'll set a $10,000 OR bond. He'll need to be processed, I'm assuming.
Well, he initially had a first appearance back on June 5th of 24 at 1:30. At that point, we were waiting on KBI Labs and we released him. So I believe he's actually been arrested and processed.
Okay.
He just needs to come to 201 West Pine. If he can make it here today before 5, that's great. If not, probably on Monday to come up to the front desk so he can sign his bond.
All right, Mr. Wilkinson, can you make it up to the Judicial Center this afternoon to sign your OR bond?
It'll probably need to be Monday, Your Honor.